guys, welcome back to my video. Today I'll be talking about the Cold War. And here's the backstory. It's been the end of the Second World War, where America nuked both Japan and nuked Nagasaki and Hiroshima with the big boy, with the fat boy and little boy, and Germany fell, and the Americans and Germany built a wall. It was called the multiple things, the Iron Curtain and the Berlin Wall. And during the Cold War, there has been a few. The wall was called a death strip, and over 100 people died trying to cross it after it's been built. And there were two races, the space race, where both Russia and America tried to get onto people into space. And there's also one more, and it's called the arms race, where both the biggest power, Russia and America, were building nukes. It was between the United States of America and the Soviet Union. And during that, America was sending supplies from west to east Germany, and they used planes to get over it, the Berlin Wall, and people were painting stuff onto the wall. And at the end of the Cold War, people were destroying the wall, and so many people during the wall was built at night, so whoever was on one side couldn't go on to the other side after it was built, because there are guards guarding each point of the tower. And the people were on one side was communist, while on the other was not communist. And guards were put onto the wall to shoot at any person trying to cross it. And people were scared during the Cold War, since both Russia and America were building too many nukes that they thought it was going to be the end of the world. So people were in schools so teachers at schools were teaching kids about the nuke safety, where they had to go under their desks, like during a earthquake. And they were also fitting gas masks on students just in case of a chemical warfare. And people were also building bunkers at their houses. And back in Germany, people were sad that they couldn't see their families if they were on the other side. And a few people tried to get over it, and very rarely few people were able to get across. And there's only one point at the Berlin Wall where there's no point at any part of the wall where people could cross the Berlin Wall, because it's all guarded by soldiers. And in Japan, people everywhere people are. There's a story about a kid who got a chocolate bar from a person flying a plane above the wall, landing it. Like for people on the other side, the Americans were flying planes above the wall, dropping supplies, and a few times during it, there was a specific person that would drop chocolate bars and chocolate to kids on the other side, and people were sad and mad that they couldn't. They're sad that they couldn't see their families if they're on the other side, and they're also mad that there is a wall blocking them, and you could still see the Berlin Wall in Germany, and two sides, and there are multiple sides of Germany that the countries took, and the wall, it got destroyed, and you could see pieces still there from the Cold War, and if you're wondering why was it called the Cold War, is called that there's a reason it's called that. It wasn't cold, and it wasn't a war either. There's a specific reason why it was called the Cold War, and the term Cold War refers to the prolonged geopolitical tension between the United States and the Soviet Union, characterized by the lack of direct military conflict. Despite the intense political and ideological rivalry, the term Cold War was first popularized by British writer George Orwell in 1945, shortly after the Second World War. Orwell used it to describe a state ongoing tension and hostility between the superpowers that did not escalate into open warfare. The phrase captures the essence of a conflict that was more about political, economic, and ideological competition than direct military engagement. You could tell you, and it was super famous because of the Berlin Wall, the Berlin blockade, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Iron Curtain, and the Marshall Plan. And at the end, there's a time that almost started the World War III. It was where a German submarine almost launched a missile towards a United States boat, the United States Navy boat, and it had to have 4 people agree to it, but one of those 3 did not agree, and he was the reason why there's no World War III. And you could tell your teachers, and you could, teachers, if you like, you could show them if the on Google Maps where the Berlin Wall was, and you could still go see it today in Germany. And teachers asked your students, what would you think the Berlin Wall looks like now? Then it was during the Cold War. And pause this video and think of how many people were mad, and think of how many countries and how many people think that the Berlin Wall was a good idea, and students think of the answer was the Berlin Wall a good idea, and what would have happened if the Russia launched a nuke onto America, and think of how much food and supplies and military planes would have dropped supplies over East Berlin, Germany. And teachers, please show the students what it looks like now and what it looked like in during the Cold War. Goodbye, everybody.